It's day 2 in the Utah Legislative Session 2020. We did repeal the tax reform bill that was passed in a special session about a month ago. So I'm sure we're going to have more discussions about what our financial problems are in our state and how to mitigate them. But it was emphasized today that we do not have a revenue problem. We have a distribution problem. So I'm sure we'll have plenty of discussions in the next 6.5 weeks or so. I want to talk about our homeless problem. Utah has put a lot of resources into exploring and trying to mitigate some of the challenges associated with a growing population of people experiencing homelessness. We're seeing this around the country in a good handful of cities, and so we've had a lot of effort toward this. Again, as an appropriator of state funds, I'm asking the questions about, are we doing the right thing? Are we doing it efficiently? Are we having the outcomes we want? And is there a good level of accountability? In the last couple years, there have been a couple audits that really had significant and troubling findings. One has to do with safety and risk factors associated with some of the shelters and so forth. And another was that there seems to be no coordinated effort. It is a very disjointed system. And when you have that, it's very hard for people to access these services. And then that's hard for us to understand how the whole system works. And third, there's a problem with data, that there is not good data collected. The data has been unreliable, data has been missing, and data has been false. And so I asked the question, as we had individual providers come before us, my question was, well, who's the boss, Applesauce? Who do we go to for the level of accountability? Who do we get to say, hey, how are you fixing this? Are you fixing this? Why haven't you fixed it yet? And that's what we found out today was there have been great strides on the safety and risk side of this, but we still don't see coordination in this effort. And, you know, that audit's been, it's over a year old. And so I actually had a motion last year to make the funding contingent upon complying with the audit's recommendations for fixing these problems. There was a bill that was trying to affect the same thing. And here we are a year later, and we still don't see coordination. And here's the funny thing to me is when I asked who does this, well, there's a coordinating committee. It's actually called the Utah Homeless Coordinating Council, only there's no coordinating. So we still not sure who's in charge, because you can't really just make an unelected committee the accountable body. So I'm still asking that question. I want to find out. I really did press members of that coordinating council to give us something. If you tell us there's a problem and you want money to help come in and fund a program to fix the problem, you got to identify the problem. And so the data piece is coming together, it sounds like, but there are still some problems on the data. So I did my job today as a member of the Appropriations Committee for Social Health and Human Services to ask those questions. Are we doing the right thing? Are we seeing the outcomes we want? Is there a good level of accountability? And is it efficient? Is it working? So when I get those answers, I'll share.